Hi there. Throughout this course, you're going to be creating databases, and will really be important that you keep track of those databases as the course proceeds. The way this is going to work is you're going to create the databases in Chapter 1, and then based on the chapters as we go through the semester, you will be editing or making changes or managing these databases based on each chapter. That means at the end of Chapter 1, you will have your databases created, and then you will use those databases to begin the work for Chapter 2. Once you've completed all the steps for Chapter 2, you will have updated or made changes to the databases, and you will use that version of the database to do the work for Chapter 3. And this will go, we'll follow this pattern so on till we get through Chapter 8. Or I can't remember if we're going through Chapter 8 or 9. But what we're going to do first, what I suggest you do, is you organize your folders for these databases. I'm going to show you how I recommend you do it, and then how we're going to move the databases once that happens. So let me just show you. I use something called Dropbox. It's a virtual or cloud storage system. There's also SkyDrive. If you decide to use a jump drive, you can certainly use that. If you decide you want to use your hard drive on your laptop or your desktop, that's certainly fine as well. Making the folders is the same no matter which system you use. So I'm going to go to my Dropbox account. And you can see I have lots and lots of folders here, but I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it My Access Class. You can call it anything you like. I usually name classes by course number, as you see here for this Business 110 or Business 280. And in fact, there's already a folder here called OST 137. But to show you what I need to show you, I'm going to create a new folder called Access Class. And then I'll delete it when we're done. So there's a couple of ways to create a new folder. You can either click the new folder button here, or depending on your version of let's see, your version of your operating software. So depending on if you're on Windows 8 or Windows 7, you'll see there won't be a new folder button. Now there's a little icon. I think it's a little folder icon with a green arrow, I think, that's on it. But another way to do it is to click into the white space anywhere in Windows Explorer. Maybe I should just close this and show you how to open Windows Explorer. But anyway, let me just tell you how I opened it. You can go to the Start button and right click and choose Open Explorer, or if you have Windows 8, you'll see a little empty folder down on the taskbar. You just click that to open it. It's like right down here. Alright, so anyway, as I said, to create a new folder, the easiest way to do it is to right click anywhere in the white space on the right hand side of the panel and choose New, and then choose Folder. And you will see it will create a new folder, and the words new folder will be highlighted in blue. You don't have to delete. You can just start typing. And I'm just going to call this Access Class. And now I have a new folder. I have this system set up so it alphabetizes everything. And so now this folder is at the very top. And per our guideline, let me just open the book and look at it. We're going to cover Chapters 1 through, let's see, 8. So that means we need folders for each of those chapters, and we also need folders for data files, because some files will be supplied to you throughout the course, and I suggest that you keep those in one location. So I'm going to double click Access Class folder, and I'm going to create these empty folders. So as I said, you can either click the new folder button, or I just like to right click New and Folder, because it works no matter what version of Windows you have. And I'm going to call this Data Files, and I'm going to create those same steps over again and again until I get to, I'm going to name this Chapter 1. And then I'm going to do another one. I'm going to go all the way until I get to chapter 8. And I like right clicking because it gives you all the options available to you on the shortcut menu. Uh-oh. Alright, so now we have, inside the Access class folder, we have chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 folder, and a data files folder. And you're going to use these. I'm going to show you how. We're going to cheat a little bit because I'm going to go back to the Access class and get the databases for chapter 1 and copy them into this chapter 1 folder. I'm going to show you how we're going to work these. Let me just go to the OST 137 class. And you'll see I have it very similar style. All right, I'm going to get the databases that I need. And I'm going to select them, and I selected them by first clicking on Bavant Publishing. Then I held the control key and I selected the other databases. And you'll do this at the end of every chapter. And then I'm hovering over one of the selected items, and I'm going to choose copy. And then I'm going back to my Access class folder I just created in chapter 1. And now I'm going to right click and paste. And it's going to put all 5 databases that you will have completed at the end of chapter 1 are now going to be in this folder. And my advice to you is, once you've completed the database and you've submitted it, then before you move it, or you're not going to move it, you're going to make a copy. Before you make a copy for your chapter 2 folder, make sure you've looked at the feedback I've provided to you to make sure that the database is correct before you go to the next chapter. You want to make sure that the database is error-free before you proceed with the next chapter so that you don't compound errors. So students use different strategies to move these. I did all of mine at one time. I have students who just do one, and once they get the feedback and they see it's okay, they move only that one. It doesn't matter. The system works the same way every time. But let me show you the easiest way to do it. We have, let's just say I'm finished with chapter 1, but I've only finished Bavant Publishing and actually I did Bavant Publishing and Lab. I've done them all, but Lab 1 had an error I need to fix. So I want to select everything except Lab 1 and copy it to the chapter 2 folder so I can begin doing the chapter 2 work. So I highlight Bavant Publishing, and then I hold down my shift key and select the other databases. These have all been checked by my instructor. They're all perfect. And I'm going to copy them. And then I'm going to go to chapter 2 folder and right click and paste them. And now these are the starting points for my chapter 2. So the ending point for chapter 1 is now the beginning point for chapter 2. At the end of chapter 2, once I've finished everything that's required for chapter 2, and once I've received feedback from my instructor and know I'm good to go, I will then copy those into the chapter 3 folder. I hope that helps you guys. And I'm going to go back, and we're going to pretend now that I have fixed this one. And I'm going to right click and choose copy, go to chapter 2, right click and choose paste. And now I have all of my databases for chapter 2. And when I get ready I finish with those, then I will right click, choose copy, go to the next chapter and drop it in the next chapter. And that's the way it's got to work. Do not move these files before you have heard from me and know that your database is okay. I check these databases thoroughly at each chapter. If you don't correct the error in chapter 2 before going to chapter 3, then chapter 3 is also going to have the old error, and I will count it against you again. So we don't want that. Plus, you want to make sure that the integrity of your database is protected before we proceed and add on, because we're going to be adding new, making changes to this database throughout. So it's very important that you follow this step. I think that's it. I hope this helps you guys. Bye.